Yo, how's everyone doing? I hope you all are doing well. And I wanted to go over my top 3 picks for this league as league starters. If you're looking to do some decent damage, I would say there is basically there is kind of 4, right? So I'm gonna take the 3 first, and then I'm gonna like highlight one more, which is that's how we're gonna go about this. So first and foremost, Ranger. No doubt about it. In my opinion, Ranger is looking super, super strong again. Whether that be the Pathfinder or the Deadeye. Both of them are looking very, very good. I would suggest that you kind of look into the different builds that's available. I would probably go with some lightning arrow or something like that for the Ranger. I love that. It's just so strong. And even though we're getting a bit of a nerf to the rods, I was testing it yesterday. That nerf does really not do much. To be fair, it's not. It's not gonna take away too much from the Ranger. You're still gonna feel incredibly strong with this. Um, and as I said, the Pathfinder is getting quite the revamp. It's getting a lot more utility. So for that reason, that is also looking really, really good this go around. I might actually start a Pathfinder this time around. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that is going to be my absolute #1 pick for the league starters this league. Next up would be the Witch. And just as last league, again, the Witch is just looking incredibly strong all around. You have 3 ascendancies. All 3 ascendancies has their own flavor. All 3 ascendancies is incredibly strong. Infernalist with some minions, Infernalist with some spells in demon form. Both is like absolutely ridiculous for the campaign. It's just so good. Then you have the Lich, which ED Contagion Lich campaign, easy peasy. I did that last league solo, no problem. Took me no time with absolute shit gear. I actually was using Act 2 gear in Act 4 and still killing everything super fast. So yeah, that is just incredible. Obviously, Blood Mage is gonna probably be yet again be one of the strongest builds in the game. It has been from basically day one. Blood Mage has just been so good. It is just one of those classes that's like really high performance once you get into the true end game. Now for the Blood Mage, I probably wouldn't necessarily league start the Blood Mage, but if you league start the Lich or the Infernalist and then swap into the Blood Mage later down the line once you have the gear for it, bro, that shit works out so well. That's exactly what I've done beforehand, and it's so easy to do that instead of having to like kind of deal with the life situation on the Blood Mage. This is just incredibly easy to go through with that setup, right? So yeah, again, I'm gonna pick the Witch as the #2 because it's just that strong in my opinion. It's just one of the best league starters currently, and as long as they haven't really nerfed the Ranger, right? Like the Lich isn't jumping up in #1 per se. I would still consider the Ranger just a little bit better because of the speed and damage output. Because that doesn't really take a whole lot to get this up to a point where it just melts everything. Now, third one this time around is gonna be the Mercenary. And just as last league, the Mercenary is looking incredibly strong. You have grenades, you have the explosive shots, you have the cannon thing. There's so many things with the Mercenaries that's just absolutely incredibly strong super early on, and you'll be able to easily get to maps like no problem. I feel like this is I probably, if they have nerfed the Ranger a lot, I would have put the Witch #1 and the Mercenary #2 just because of how good the Mercenary is. I league started this last league. I ran through the game like it was nothing, and I was playing with a buddy, and I literally carried us through everything. Like it's eye cancer. I might as well start out by saying that it's absolute eye cancer because it using those grenades and those like with explosive shots and stuff like that, you can barely see anything on the screen because it just lights up everything. But the absolute disgusting power output it has is ridiculous. It's so good, and that's basically the main reason behind me picking this. Also, I do see a world where, for instance, like the what's it called, the Witch Hunter could be really good this league. Technically, you would be able to do like somewhat of a dual spec with it. Um, you could do some shape shifting with some spells. You could do a bunch of other things. But I feel like it has a lot of potential. I would say best for the campaign run itself would probably still be the tactician, in my opinion. The tactician is just that strong. Now this also has 3 ascendancies. We have the Gemling Legionnaire. I think you can just take the Gemling Legionnaire and lob it straight into the trash, because that's not worth playing. I don't like it at all currently. It used to be really fire in 01. That was probably one of the best ascendancies in general. Then they nerfed the living shit out of all nodes, and now it doesn't really have like a real identity, and it doesn't really provide like a whole lot of power, or for that matter like utility or safety. It just has some resistances and some random shit that's not, it's not really that interesting, to be fair. Way better in 01 than it has been ever since. So for that reason, I probably wouldn't do the Gemini Legionnaire. It would be between the Tactician and the Witch Hunter, depending on which type of build you're kind of looking to make. But in the end, I would say Tactician is the strongest for the campaign itself, right? Immobilize is just absolutely disgustingly strong, and it's still crazy strong to this day. Even though to be fair, they kind of did nerf it a little bit, but Jesus Christ, is even with the nerfs, it's still just incredibly strong, because you can build it up while you're building up freeze, or while you're building up stun, right? Like you can build up the immobilize besides those. So it's so disgustingly strong. But yeah, so that would be my third pick. Now to name a fourth one would be to use the Huntress. And the reason for that is just the Ritualist, honestly, it's just incredibly strong too. It has a lot of utility, and with the new mini headhunter situation, it just made it even better, in my opinion. The mini headhunter has been buffed significantly, so I really didn't like it before, because you had to stop, you had to do this animation, and then you would receive a modifier from a random modifier from a rare monster, and you would have that modifier for like 20 seconds. And then you would have to stop again after 20 seconds, and then do it again, and then run for 20 seconds, stop, do it again, run, stop, do it again, run. And that kind of just ruins the flow of the game when you have to constantly stand still and do some kind of weird animation to like continue the map, for instance. I really don't like that. But now, since they buffed the duration of the modifiers you get from 20 seconds to 120 seconds, now 2 minutes, I can stop every 2 minutes to do an animation to gain a bunch of extra power or speed or defense or whatever, right? Like that is fine by me. But every 20 seconds, that's way too much, especially with how long maps takes and stuff like that. Or how long certain parts of the acts are and stuff like that. It would just be absolutely annoying to have to stop all the time. But now, it's kind of disgusting, to be fair. And the Amazon, although it's not necessarily the best if you compare it to like Ranger and stuff, it still holds some decent power, right? Like, so it's not outside of the scope of something that would be easy to go through the campaign with. And for that reason, Huntress is like my bonus pick here. And again, if you want to do certain things, like if you want to go for a rarity bot, that is an obvious choice to go for, because you can easily do, let's say, Lightning Arrow on the Ritualist, get through the campaign, get into maps, get your gear settled, then start basically building out your rarity bot, and that way you'll just be rolling in no time. And if there's something that everybody wants to play with, is a rarity bot. So if you go public games with that, you're gonna get a lot of friend requests and people asking if they would like basically come play with them all the time, right? Because it's just such a big utility. And it also means that nobody has to concentrate on putting rarity on their gear when they're playing with you, and that is just more damage, which means faster maps. Faster maps means more loot. it just all goes hand in hand, right? Even though they continuously say that the rarity isn't that strong, and like, oh, 150 rarity is enough, and blah 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 blah. Once you've played with somebody who has 500 to 600 rarity on a fucking rarity bot, you'll know what the difference is, and the difference is monumental. Even though they continuously say there's no difference. I can give you an example. The other day we were playing together, me and a couple of guys from my group, and we had one bannerman, we had one rarity bot, and then we had 3 DPS guys. And yeah, we were dropping multiple tiered currencies, like tier 3, tier 2, chaos, exalts, all that shit, all the time. Like every map we would get, what, like 5, 6, 7 of those every single map. And then, like, besides we're getting like a bunch of divines, we're getting a bunch of other shit, because the rarity affects the fucking currency, and when it affects the currency, having like a ton of it, even though they said, oh, it's diminishing returns, the diminishing returns aren't that strong that it's like useless. You know what I mean? It's actually really useful, and Jonathan can just like argue this all day long. As long as it's in the game, I'm gonna stand on my 2 feet, and I've seen and experienced what it's like. And I feel like they haven't quite experienced that the same way. And once they haven't really experienced it the same way, then it's hard for them to understand exactly how that functions, right? Even though they have all the calculations and everything for it, it might not. It has an effect within the game. It's just hard to explain. You can like, it's so obvious when the rarity bot leaves and we all do the same exact setup. We don't even get 10% of the loot. Like, that's just how it is. So yeah, that is gonna be the current DPS situation for top 3, aka top 4, I would say, in my opinion. So I definitely wouldn't start Druid. I know that's the new ascendancy, and a lot of people are gonna want to start that. I would probably hold off a little bit and do something different first. Get through the maps, get through the end game. Then once you have some gear and some good like stuff, then you go Druid, and then you start figuring out a build that works for it. But gambling on the Druid being super good from the get-go, I wouldn't do that. I just don't think we have enough proof that there's actually a build there that's gonna be super, super powerful. Not saying there's not, I'm just saying, like, if you have something that's tried and true and it works out perfectly, why the frick would you swap to something different for your league start, at least? I understand making different builds later down the line. I love doing that part, right? But for the league start, I want something that's fast, strong, like gets easily through the campaign, gets into maps and are able to do them pretty easily on its own if needed. So if I'm not if I don't have a guarantee that the Druid's gonna perform like that, I'm not just gonna start it and hope it goes like that, because I've done that before with other things. I've started a build as if it was a league start, even though it was like later into the league. Sometimes I like to just pick a build and run it kind of like SSF, where I don't use any stuff from my chest. I don't take anything, any gear upgrades or currencies or anything like that. I just run through the game using only what I find along the way. And I've done that before, thinking, oh, this probably is really, really strong, and then learning the hard way that, oh shit, without like certain certain parts of gear, this build just doesn't function that well, right? Like it's not gonna feel that strong. So yeah, that's my take on it. I hope you guys liked the video. If you do, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good jazz, and I will catch you all in the next one.